on part two of our interview with Donkey Kong World Champion Robbie Lakeman. So, yeah, so we were talking about your strategies that you kind of adapted to kind of go off of what others had done and you've been able to learn from, but come up with your own techniques. And let's see what we talked about. The barrel board of the game gets progressively kind of easier as it goes on, right?
Yeah, once you get to level 5, it's all the same strategies. They're more consistent.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, so like, tell me again, like, how was it Donkey Kong that you gravitated to out of like, you said you had a friend going for Warlords, right? And
Uh, yeah.
all these other games and everything. Like, what made you go after Donkey Kong? Was it the movie or just, and especially being a younger guy too? You're 27, right?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, what gravitated me towards Donkey Kong was, well, first of all, I did see the documentary King of Kong. That kind of gained my interest, and then on top of that, that's where a lot of competition was at the time. A lot more million-point Donkey Kong players were starting to come out. A lot more people were kill screening the game, and I kind of just wanted to see where I did rank amongst all those other players. And I knew it was a hard game. It was going to be a challenge. Any other record that I've ever broken only took me a couple weeks to within a month, and now I'm pushing 3 years on this game, and that's how long it took me to get to the record. So that really goes to show how difficult the game is and how difficult the competition is at this point, because there's even more competition now than there was back in the day as far as going for the record goes. There's a lot more contenders now these days.
Okay, yeah. What other games did you go after then? What other games are you into?
Um, as far as like classics or just any games or
Yeah, anything. Yeah, I would say make it like a two-parter. Like, what do you like to just play casually, for fun? And what are the other really serious games? Like you mentioned, mastering games in just a couple weeks. What are some of those other games that you've really gravitated toward from a record-breaking standpoint?
um, well, when I was about 3 or 4 years old, my parents got me and my sister the Super Nintendo for Christmas, and it came with Super Mario World. And I still play that game to this day because it's one of my favorite games ever made. I did grow up on the Nintendo games, Nintendo 64. Super Mario 64 is probably one of my favorite games as well. So that's probably another reason why I gravitated towards Donkey Kong, was because I was a pretty big Mario fan, and that's where the character originated from. So that kind of helped me there. But as far as other games, I try to be I try to be good at as many games as possible with the classics, because in the King of Kong you see like the Fun Spot tournament, and I've been attending that for the past 3 or 4 years now, and I got 8th place this past year, and I eventually want to be a contender for that tournament as well. Um, Other games I got into when I was in college, I did get into Guitar Hero. That was another one I really got into. And I got into Rock Band. So those were games that I really with until I ended up being able to play on expert mode. I wanted to master that kind of game too.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, I get that too, coming from the music game background, and I like Guitar Freaks and Dromania, the Japanese like arcade like forefathers to Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and yeah, I really like, and they do remind me of like classic arcade games even, where it's just like you got your song or whatever, and you grow to like know the patterns and everything and the nuances of that song, and just like doing it like over and over and over and over and over again to try to just like get that, like achieve that like perfection.
Yeah, exactly. And also that's a point-based game too. You get points. That's how you judge how you're better than somebody else is by how many points you get. So you do play certain songs and you do work out certain strategies as far as using the star power and when to use it and how to maximize your points for that song. So that's probably another reason why I did enjoy it so much, was not only just because of the music in it and I liked it and it was a new skill to learn as far as video games go, but it's just also based on points and how to get more of them.
Yeah. So, have you ever dabbled in fighting games at all, like the competitive Street Fighter, Marvel, Mortal Kombat, any of those kind of games?
I never got into those games. I played Street Fighter as a kid on Super Nintendo, but I never got too serious about them. But I do enjoy playing them every once in a while.
Okay. Yeah, just not on that crazy level. You like the score based stuff, right? The 1v1 kind of the you versus the computer kind of games, I should say, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like playing the computer. Just I don't know. It's harder to read software and code as opposed to reading an opponent. I guess I don't know. I never got into those games as much, so maybe I don't know enough about them. But that's how I kind of felt about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. So yeah, that's awesome. So what do you do? Do you like is your the kind of what do you do for a living? Because I'm always interested what people who like so excel at these kind of games and everything. If they have like a career path or something that is kind of related, like the repetition and like getting things perfect. So where did you end up?
I work in the golf business. I've been in the golf business since I was 15 years old. So I did grow up playing golf. I was the number one golfer in my high school and one of the best in New Hampshire. I was actually a scratch golfer by the time I was 17, 18 years old. So those skills, yeah, those skills are pretty similar. There's a lot of hand-eye coordination. There's a lot of technique involved. I don't know if I just lost you or not, but did I lose you?
Oh no, I'm trying to figure out how to get your Donkey Kong playlist featured. Uh,
Oh,
so yeah, but no, you're still on there.
okay. So yeah, it's all hand-eye coordination. It's all using technique, and there's a lot of endurance involved because when you play golf, you're walking many miles a day when you play around a golf, and when you're playing Donkey Kong, you're sitting at the machine for uh, 3 to 4 hours, and not only that is it can be a little stressful, like on your shoulder or on your back or um, on your wrist, or it can be a little tiring sometimes. So you do have to build up endurance and still keep focused and still just managing to get to the end with the score that you want. So there is a lot of similarities between the two, and I think that's kind of what helped me get there, just that natural ability.
Yeah, that I mean, and that kind of fits into what I was wondering with your skill set. With like perfecting your technique and all that those kind of things. I would think you'd have to do for like Donkey Kong. That makes perfect sense to be like a pro, like an expert golfer. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. When you're playing golf, I mean, a lot of people will spend hours at the driving range just hitting balls, not even playing a real game and trying to improve their technique. So that kind of translates into Donkey Kong because you can do that now with MAME and save states available. You can practice and practice and practice the same boards over and over again without wasting time getting to those boards. So that really does help.
Oh, okay. So you did that a lot in training for the Donkey Kong stuff. Like you get to where you need to get to a MAME, and that way you can practice like that barrel board, or whatever.
Yeah, you can practice the same board over and over and over again if you want. You do have the option. I didn't exactly learn that way, but once I did get to a certain point, it was a matter of just going back and yeah, just trying to relearn some of the basics to get myself to the end.
Okay. That actually reminded me of another question I wanted to ask you. Um, I had thought that I had read that the future Donkey Kong scores were all going to have to be done live, like with Walter Day, the the head referee of Twin Galaxies and everything. the scores would have to be done live and not videotaped anymore. Is that not in place anymore, or am I wrong on that? Or
That was right after the King of Kong came out. Pretty much right after. It was there was a lot of controversy in the hardware that some people were using. A lot of people didn't even think 1,000,000 points was possible. So when somebody did want to post 1,000,000 points or record attempts, yeah, they did have to do it live. And once Hank Chen became a contender, he eventually just started filming at his own place, and eventually they did come up with a system and a set of rules that you had to follow to even post a score, submit a score. And it was even at a point where those rules were even over the top and kind of ridiculous. And now things are a little bit more laid back, just because we know most people aren't cheating or aren't going to be doing anything that isn't fair. So everyone's trusting of each other, which is kind of the good thing, because now we're all close as a community, and we know, like, if someone is capable of doing it, that they're not going to cheat.
yeah, and like how I know, of course, the movie talks about like gummy substances on boards and all that stuff, but what were they afraid of? Like, how would you actually be able to cheat, like in Donkey Kong, like in your opinion, not in the movie's opinion?
I mean, with a certain hardware in the boards, I mean, I guess people have tried to manipulate them in the past, whether it's kind of leaving them out in the sun, or I don't know exactly what they're trying to do. I have no idea,
What
because
the hell?
yeah, I know. I've heard ROMs can eventually become corrupt, and I did play on a board that I felt was like that, but it actually was harder. So I mean, even if you're trying to um, manipulate some of the boards, you can actually. It seems like you can actually make them harder sometimes, or sometimes you're just trying something and you don't know what the end result's going to be. So I don't really know what the benefit of actually even attempting to do that is, because you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if there are certain ROM sets that people could burn into their boards. I don't know. It's kind of uh, now it's more. Now people are more aware of what people are doing because they're streaming, so people can actually just watch your footage and judge, like, if anything's out of place.
Yeah, I would think so.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
especially with
back then everyone was kind of just doing it privately, so no one knew what the other guy was doing.
yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, streaming has definitely just changed everything.
Oh yeah, it's
Um,
been great. Just a lot of, yeah, because I would do a certain score, and then right there live on Twitch, I would just open up my machine and just show everybody the inside of it and what I have, and I would just let the viewers judge for themselves if it was legit, and they've all said it has been, and I've proved myself multiple times, so no one really has any doubts about me or my machine. So that's kind of why the news got out there pretty quick.
okay, yeah. Was it speaking of that? Was it hard to be kind of become a new challenger in this world? I know Hank was able to do it, and set that record and everything. But was that like a thing for you to break into this world where these guys were established? It's this huge worldwide competition going on, and to kind of thrust yourself in the center of that as a competitor, was it hard to be accepted, or did you have any problems?
It was, yeah, it wasn't too difficult. The King of Kong is a little deceiving as far as that goes. In the documentary, it kind of just seems like a lot of the gamers were like, oh, this no name's coming out of nowhere, and like Billy's the king, so we all love Billy, and we don't even know this guy, and we're more on Billy's side. And that, I mean, that wasn't really even the truth, because Billy and Steve did know each other a while before that came out, and a lot of people did know who Steve Wiebe was, but that was just in the film where they were just meeting him for the first time. Um, on an actual camera, but behind the scenes, they had all known each other for a while. But as far as me goes, it didn't. Yeah, it was pretty easy, because everyone was just really down to earth, and I met a lot of cool people and everyone's just been so nice. So it's probably pretty close to opposite what you would get the impression of from the King of Kong.
Okay, yeah, that's really great. Um, we had it's kind of like I actually just started getting interested in the Smash Brothers Melee community, and at my event every year, we used to have Smash Brothers, and then the fighting game community started to get really big, and Street Fighter 4 came out, and the like Melee wasn't as big yet, so basically, we were like, if you guys want to be a part of the event, here's the amount of space we can give you, but we just can't give you anymore because this event is growing so big, and we've got this smallish venue. So I'm now coming back to the Smash Brothers community because it's just like it's bigger than the fighting game community is, and it's crazy. And the people in it are just like really nice. There's not a lot of like, man, like I've got to like beat the crap out of you, with the tournament coming up. It's like they mostly just love the game. They want to play. They want to keep growing the scene, and it's really cool to be a part of. And it reminds me of when I used to be involved in fighting games, and it wasn't like people were fighting for like paychecks or anything. People were doing it just because they loved, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, and Street Fighter 2, Super Turbo. People just love the games and they love to compete. And I would imagine the retro gaming community would be maybe like a similar vibe to that.
Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, it's a smaller community. It's a niche community, and since it's smaller, we've all gotten to know each other, and we just we like to keep this hobby alive and keep it going, and even pass it through generations. And yeah, everyone's just really friendly. There's occasionally the drama and some arguments over certain topics, but I mean, you get that in any community, so it's definitely not any more than you would see anywhere else.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so speaking of that, like, what is next for competitive Donkey Kong? Is it feel like, you guys have pretty much hit a ceiling with what you can really do with the game because, you're restricted by that X number of boards plus kill screen, and it's like, how many more variations of figuring out how to score high on these boards, can people come up with?
As far as the game goes, we're pretty certain that it's still not even close to being theoretically maxed out. There's a player named Dean Saglio who does play on the emulator, and he actually did hit 1.2 million on the emulator. So we kind of feel like translating that into the arcade, it would probably be around 1.17, 1.18 million points as far as playing on the arcade cabinet goes. But once you get to that point, you're kind of just fighting randomness and luck because there is a lot of it in the game. And sometimes it just prevents you from even gaining any points. So it's just a matter of eventually we're going to all be taking a lot of unnecessary risk and not even getting too far in the game because we're just going to be all out point pressing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. You can see it. Yeah, I could definitely see it evolving like that. That makes a lot of sense because you just gotta once million. Is million pretty commonplace for you guys on a game? Like, let's say, how many games would it take you right now to hit a million on a machine?
If I were to try to go for a million right now, it'd probably take me, I don't know, 1 out of 5 tries.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. When you get to a certain point and you're point pressing pretty hard, I could actually run through the game like the last half of the game and get a million points. But yeah, the game has evolved since all the information's out there. We've pretty much decided that million points is the new kill screen, and 1.1 is the new million, and then 1.15 is going to be the new 1.1. So it's kind of yeah, it's kind of gotten to a point where it's widespread through the community that a lot of people are really getting their scores up. I think when I first started playing this game, top 20 would have been 600,000 points, and now that's pushing 1,000,000 points. So So it's getting crazy as far as the competition goes.
Wow, cool. Yeah, that's amazing. So, is there like another Kong Off coming up? Is that an annual thing, or like what's the next big competition? Is it Fun Spot or something else?
The next competition will be the Kong Off 4. That's coming up in March, and Richie Knuckles is going to host that at his arcade in New Jersey. So that's where he held the first Kong Off back in, I think it was March 2011. And then for the last 2 years, they held it in Denver at the One Up arcade. It's actually a bar. It's a bar in an arcade, a barcade, I guess.
Hmm.
Uh, so they held that there for the last 2 years. And I've gone to the last two. I was actually in the main lineup last year, so they're going to put it back in New Jersey this upcoming year, and there's going to be a new format. It's going to be a 3-day event, and it's going to be exciting to see how it turns out because it's going to be even more competition, and people are going to be fighting to get their spots on a machine. So it'll be fun.
And you guys get flown out there as like attractions, or do you guys all have to just come out there and qualify on the spot, and then you get to play like the final day or something?
Yeah, the way that they've done it was that they would take usually lately it's been the top 10 scores on Twin Galaxies, and then they have Billy and Steve to attract. Well, they have the star power, so they attract the crowds. So we always keep them in the event. But yeah, it's going to be top 10 on Twin Galaxies, um, and then also we do these online Donkey Kong tournaments every few months, and we do those over the course of a weekend, and those are actually going to be counting towards the next Kong Op, depending on how you rank. So there's going to be at least 5 of those spots opening on top of the other 12. So they're planning on at least having 17 machines. Last time I heard.
Wow, geez, it's amazing.
Yeah. So if anyone is interested in joining the Donkey Kong community, there is a forum. It is DonkeyKongForum.com, and that's where you can find links to people streaming and also just threads on learning how to play the game, basic strategies, advanced strategies. You can always ask questions. People are always willing to answer, and that's where they have the tournaments. That's where you can get. There are cash prizes too on top of that. Um, Even random bounties, like they'll select random numbers, and whether you're 12th or 50th place, you're eligible to win money, and that's kind of been the fun thing about the whole community is we all get together every couple months and have a competition. And there's even a bounty on the world record. Last tournament it was $1,700, so a lot of us were gunning for it. So we'll see what happens in the next tournament. So I mean I could even lose my crown next tournament or even next month because I know Vincent LeMay, who's currently 3rd on the arcade list. He's going for it next month at Richie's place. So we'll see how the competition keeps going and if the crown will switch hands multiple times.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so you guys have the in-person events, and then everyone's going for the videotaped record, essentially, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. And how often do you guys get together with these on-site? Is it just the calling off every year, or do you guys have like multiple on-site get-togethers?
We have multiple on-site get-togethers. We do have the Kong Off. The last Kong Off was last November. So then after that, we've been having these online tournaments every 2 months. The last one was at the end of August, and I believe the next one's going to be at the end of October, if I'm correct, or November. We'll see. And there hasn't been an official date announced, but yeah, we do at least 3 or 4 every single year, and it is open to people on arcade and MAME as well. And those weekends are always fun. Even if you're not playing, you can just all these streams are going to be open up, and you can watch anybody. You can watch multiple streams at once, so it's a lot of fun. Sometimes I'll just sit back and watch, and just see what everyone else is up to because it's yeah you don't see it too often that we're all streaming like that at the same time.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Will you be doing anything for Extra Life on October 25th? Are you familiar with Extra Life?
Extra Life, I don't believe, yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Um, the next event I'm attending, I'm actually going to I'm going to Richie Knuckles' our King of Arcades premiere. He's doing that this weekend, so I'm actually flying out to New Jersey to support him and just kind of hang out with some friends again. And that's the next event. And then the event after that, I'm going to another one in Florida, Orlando, called Free Play Florida. And I told them if they got me a machine, I would make record attempts there throughout that weekend. So got a couple exciting events coming up, and then after that, I'll be the Kong off in March.
Cool. Well, man, we got some really nice arcades here in Ohio, some good machines. So who knows? I'll hopefully be doing some more events. I've got this video game expo for the Lakeland Video Game Expo here in Cleveland. I'm trying to do not just like fighting game tournaments like I used to do, but also bring in like casual gaming, more console gaming, more retro gaming, and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully I'll be in touch in the future. Hopefully we'll be able to do something, for the game in Ohio. I just think that would be amazing. And I mean, to be able to bring that like energy and a part of this international competition and everything with the Donkey Kong stuff. Yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you up about that because I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, definitely let me know. I always keep my schedule open.
Cool. And I'll actually be in touch too with the October 25th. This Extra Life. It's an all-day streaming event, like around the country and I guess the world. And it's an organization that raises money for like basically for money and also like entertainment, like video game entertainment for kids in hospitals and like Rainbow Babies children's hospitals across the country. And basically, people just stream all day on October 25th and fundraise in advance, fundraise during their stream and everything, and it all goes to this charity. It's really cool. We've got a really good group here in Cleveland that is starting this fundraising for it, and it really brought it to my attention. So I'll hit you up about that in case you're not busy that day. It'd be really fun to involve you in that event too. It's a really cool cause.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what day would that be in October? What,
The 25th?
yeah, what day of the week? Do you know?
Oh, it's a Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, I could probably squeeze some time in streaming some record attempts. I'll do
Yeah,
my best to
cool.
be a part of it.
That's so cool. I'll let the guild here in Cleveland know, and yeah, I'll reach out to you about that, and we'd really appreciate even just having a couple hours, and yeah, just to have your time and the star power on there as a part of that would be just so cool for the cause and everything, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, I mean, this has been awesome. Is there anything else that you want to throw out there? Any guarantees, any challenges about, I'm going to be the best forever, no one's ever going to pass me, anything?
I don't know. I just want to say it's been great. The last week, everyone's been awesome. Just getting to this level, it's just been amazing. Just even if it's gone a couple weeks from now, I'm just happy to say I was on top at one point. No one can ever take that away from me. So it's great to have my name in history in an elite group of people that have had the Donkey Kong title, because there is only a handful of us now. And yeah, just all the press is just everything's exceeded my expectations, and so many followers I've gained on Twitch now because of it, and just yeah, it's been crazy. It's exceeded all the expectations. This was a personal goal of mine, and everything I've gotten after that's been just a bonus. And I feel lucky. I feel really lucky to have this opportunity, and in the process, I've made so many great friends. And yeah, I can't imagine what I would do without them. And it's just great to be a part of this community overall.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I'm a big believer in the social power of video games, and that's why I started this company from just coming from a guy who ran tournaments that kept getting bigger and bigger, and really been able to see that impact and see the friendships that have evolved, from these competitive games and everything. I was really like, man, it's a special thing for me to be a part of on that organizer standpoint. And yeah, so I agree 100%. And I love learning about new communities because all the video game communities that are so hardcore with these games are so niche within themselves, but so passionate, and so much can come out of just a couple people, you know, um, just after like a common goal. And it sounds like things have really gone well for you, being a part of this retro game community, especially with Donkey Kong, obviously. And yeah, it is. It's an incredible achievement. Congratulations, being the world record holder in Donkey Kong, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, cool. Yeah, everyone, check out Robbie's stream. It's twitch.tv/. Oh, let's get it back up there. Twitch.tv/Lakeman421. Is there a time of day, certain day of the week that you like to stream, or?
It was close to a daily thing. I was normally streaming at around maybe 10 o'clock p.m. my time, Pacific time, but sometimes during the weekends I was streaming during the day too. So it's just kind of whenever I get the urge to play. There's really no consistent time.
Cool. Okay. Feel free anytime. You can always, because I'm a big Twitter guy. Love the keeping Twitter conversations going and everything. You can always hit me up on Twitter or on Facebook, and I'm happy to retweet and hopefully get you some more followers. Just type up Donkey Kong. I think it's amazing what you're doing. And
yeah, that'd be great. I like gaining more interest into this community because it is great, and if there is gaining any more interest because of this, it's definitely it's positive for us. It works out for us in the long run too, and especially in the Donkey Kong community in the forum. I mean, the forum is not just Donkey Kong too. We talk other game strategies. Our goal is just beat the crap out of these old games, and we like to share strategies. And a lot of people are getting into Zookeeper. I don't know if you ever heard of Zookeeper, but that's been one of the more popular games lately is Zookeeper. So a lot of us have been sharing strategies on that game and other games too, like Donkey Kong Jr. and Crazy Kong and pretty much just anything else. We like to play all games, not just Donkey Kong.
Very cool. All right. And because my lower third never seems to work, I'm still figuring out Google Hangouts. Here's my information off of my cell phone here. GDL Entertainment stands for Games Done Legit, so it's at Games Done Legit. And hopefully we'll see you next time. You can feel free to tweet me during these broadcasts, and we'll run your questions back. There is a question and answer feature on these Hangouts as well. I'm just starting to get the hang of this thing, but it's a lot of fun. And these show up on YouTube right after, so we can, have it recorded for posterity. And yeah, Robbie, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll see you again soon. I'm sure I'll be talking to you, and best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Right.